Me, 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 me. You do your voice.
Me, 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 me.
Yeah.
How's my hair? There's nothing I can do about
Lovely.
this. My little sprouts. Hey guys, we are back with a Q&A. We haven't done one since we became parents. Have we done one?
I can't even remember the last time we've done one.
I asked you guys on Instagram. A lot of you submitted some very juicy questions.
Really?
Alfred feels they're very loaded. So I have the list of questions on my phone, and let's start off with the ones that we would both answer because there's some for me and some for Alfred. So,
Good.
Has your relationship changed after having a baby?
Yes.
Yes.
For sure.
Completely. What hasn't changed? That should be the question. Would you say it's for the best? Not really. I can't say
to
that.
be decided.
To be decided.
I wouldn't say it's worse, and I wouldn't say it's better. It's just very different because it's not just us anymore. It's not just us and the dog. It's us and Lila, the baby, who is very needy, needs a lot of attention, needs a lot of care, and also gives us a lot of sleep deprivation. Yeah, people get very nasty when they don't sleep.
Excuse me. I didn't like
That's
how
me.
you said we. We are sleep
I
deprived.
was talking about me. I'm sleep deprived. How am I not? I
How
would
are
say
you?
I am sleep deprived, yes.
Okay.
Did I used to wake up at 7 in the morning every day? No. I'm obviously not as sleep deprived as you, but
Okay.
we are both having less sleep than what we usually do.
See what I have to work with now, guys. For me, I feel like our relationship has gone downhill because we're trying to juggle this new role as parents. So we're like, as we become better parents, or like, you know, have more attention and time for Lila, I feel like we have less time for each other. Therefore, it kind of goes downhill.
Yeah. But we're still good, right?
We're still good. I mean, we're still here filming this video for you guys.
Still
So,
good? Okay.
Yeah.
That's all right.
But
As
people
long as
might
it's still
get
good.
confused because we're not wearing our rings.
Oh yeah. It's just like
We're just-
convenience.
Yeah, we just forget. And because baby, you know, we're still okay. We're still happily married. How do you deal with conflict when it comes to parenting?
That's easy. You just go with Tina's preference all the time.
Really?
Most of the time. You
Most
pick and
of the
choose your
time.
battles. I'm pretty easygoing, so I can let so much go your way. And there hasn't been anything where I've been like, no, it's got to be this way. Like, there's nothing that I've really fundamentally disagreed on. So, like, my advice is just to go with the mother's flow.
There you go, guys. Mum's always right. So one of the conflicts that we did have, and it's a topic that's so polarizing to a lot of, you know, couples, is sleep training. Alfred felt the need that Lila needed to sleep through the night early on because some of our other friends' babies also slept through the night. And obviously when he's talking to the other dads, they're like, oh yeah, like we just did this, it's easy, it's worthwhile. And so he took that advice, and obviously I'm breastfeeding. I felt different about that, and so that was our main conflict. In the end, I just
With the
co-sleep.
mothers.
We didn't sleep train.
No, we didn't.
We didn't sleep train.
And I guess that's something I learned as well. It's like, just because it worked for a couple, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the right thing for us. You know, there's a bit of learning. Yeah, for me, it was just like, oh, it worked for this guy, let's do it because it worked for them. It'll work for us. It doesn't happen that way.
No, no.
Every baby's different. So you just go with your own flow and go with the mothers. And you won't get into any fights.
What has been the hardest time since having Lila? I'm gonna say the newborn stage is the hardest. Like the first month, I wanna say like the first 2 to 3 months is the hardest. Number one, you just really don't know what you're doing. You're just literally Googling everything that comes, or like you're asking your friends, and you're not experienced. The anxiety is like through the roof.
Yep.
I feel like
They're so fragile. You just feel like they're so fragile, and
the babies
They
are
can break.
fragile. Yeah, like their heads are just everywhere, and like just holding them, they're so small. And yeah, it's just getting used to like a whole new lifestyle, and it's overwhelming. So I feel like that stage is the hardest, and plus it's like you're not sleeping a lot. It's a hard time. But yeah, now it's a lot better. I think it got better after I started sleeping next to her. Like, was it 4 to 5 months?
yeah, after we stopped fighting about sleeping,
Sleep training. Actually, sleep training or sleep in general was like the hardest thing. Like getting her to sleep, us having enough sleep ourselves. Like that is the most hardest and challenging thing about having a baby.
for sure.
Yeah, this is very juicy. Are you ready?
Go on.
How has your sex drive been after having a baby? I feel like this one is definitely more like veered towards like me. Nothing really changed about Alfred. Well, okay, lifestyle wise, yes, but body wise, not really. But for me, I had no desire to have sex. for like ages. And I feel like a lot of people don't know this, but I think it's like when you're breastfeeding, down there it's just very dry. Like before having a baby, I would have to wear panty liners because, you know, women will have discharge and whatnot, and fluids is coming out. But after having a baby, it was like the Sahara Desert. It was dry and I didn't even need liners. And it was only up until like recently that I feel like it's back to normal-ish. But yeah, like my sex drive is very low. Number one, because time and, you know, you don't have the energy, and it's just like, that. I feel like that's the last thing on my mind.
I feel as though like, I mean, I don't have that physiological change, but just being so tired, like there's just no time for it almost.
Yeah.
And if there is time, it's like I'd rather just lay on the sofa and not move and just relax. Like that time is just so precious.
Exactly.
Like sex is just so tiring to think about. So don't know if that's the right answer, but that's.
I mean, that's just
how it
us.
is.
We're just keeping it real, guys. I'm not gonna say like sex is amazing and blah, blah, blah. It's just like we have very little desire for it, but doesn't mean that we don't love each other. It's just,
It's different.
it's different now. How is sex after having a baby?
I think it's still okay. Yeah.
Does it feel the same?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel different for me.
For me, like it was definitely a little bit painful because I felt like I was very dry. Do you know what I mean? Like I felt like it's just a lot of friction, and also I think it was like a mental thing as well, because I'm like, oh, is it gonna hurt? Like my body's tensed up. I'm like, oh, like I'm kind of like expecting the worst almost. So I like the first time we did it wasn't very pleasant for me. So yeah, but afterwards it was back to normal. It was back to normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just more like we were on a time limit. We just had to. We had 10 minutes.
Not even.
we had like 5 minutes, and it was just like, nah, it wasn't working.
Yeah, and then also guys, like you have to understand our living situation has changed because I co-sleep with Lila, because Biscuit usually sleeps with us in the bed. Alfred sleeps in like the spare room or on the sofa with Biscuit. So then she's not like stepping on Lila in the middle of the night. And then also my mum is living with us, and in our bedroom, on our bed, we have the baby monitor, which is connected to everyone's phone. So obviously at any time you can check up on baby. And so we've had to get creative when it comes to being intimate. It's very different now. It's like, I kind of feel like I'm back like when I was young, living at home, like being sneaky. I don't know, it's very different. So that freedom that we had, like our own space, it's very limited now. So that's how our sex drive and sex life has been.
It's different. Next question.
How do you manage your finances and expenses as a couple/family now?
I don't think we spend that much to begin with. Like we're not big spenders.
We're big
so
savers, and all our expenses mainly
goes into like the business.
It's like our business, like rent, editors,
living expenses. Yeah.
Yeah,
We hardly
but-
buy clothes and stuff. Except for me. I mean, I
I don't know.
I buy a lot of tech stuff, you know, for the computer, but that's my only thing.
I buy clothes, but overall, I don't feel like we're big splurgers on like high ticketed items and stuff. So we do save a majority of our income, and especially with Lila, we're thinking more in the future, like schooling and then just all the other expenses that come with having kids. So right now we're in the like saving stage. Like I'm very frugal at the moment.
And like we're thinking a lot more about like where we're going to be in the next 3 to 5 years. Ties back to, you know, where do we want to be financially. So gotta start making those moves.
One of our biggest things that we want to save for is like a home that we own, because right now we're renting, and so that's our main goal at the moment. And then also like say business wise, like we really want to grow Petite Club, because I feel like that has a lot more opportunities and growth, so then later on we'll be able to provide for baby, and it's just like this ongoing cycle. So that's where our mindset is with our finances and how we manage it. Does Lila have a caretaker? Yes, she has my mum. So right now we're filming at the studio. She's with mum back at home, and mum is really good. My mum, like, God bless her, she's super hands-on. She's been with Lila since the beginning, so Lila is very comfortable with her. And then she also helps us with like house chores as well, so she's like the best.
Yeah, the best.
The best. If you have parents, you know, grandparents that help, oh my God, you are so lucky, be very grateful. What do you think Lila will be like when she's older?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, it's so hard to
Yeah,
tell.
so hard. But
right
she's really
now.
strong, so she could do something physical, like
Well, as in
sports or
like, because her
something.
legs are very
She's
strong.
got really strong legs.
That is true. She's quite solid. She's a very chill baby. She's quite happy. And in a way, it's easy because she doesn't cry that often. And if she does, there's a reason behind it and we can rectify it real quick. It's not like she cries for no reason and we're second guessing, like trying to figure out how to stop her. So I feel like in that sense, she is an easy baby. So hopefully in the future, she'll be an easy, chill, relaxed person.
I think so.
I hope that she's creative though.
She might be if she hangs down on you enough.
Maybe.
With me, maybe not.
Maybe. What languages are you going to teach Lila?
Obviously English. Tina's mom only speaks Vietnamese, so she's gonna learn Vietnamese. And with my very basic limited knowledge of Chinese Mandarin, she's also hopefully gonna catch on to Mandarin.
Yeah.
'Cause that's a very useful skill to have in Singapore actually.
Yeah, and if she does go to like playgroup or like preschool, a lot of the schools actually teach Chinese as well. So it's like bilingual,
Yeah.
so English and Chinese. So that will be really good. But yeah, at home right now, it's just Vietnamese and English and a little bit of Chinese. I answered this before, but someone asked, did you sleep train Lila? If so, what method did you use? Yeah, we didn't go there. I think as far as we went was like, we'll just rock her to sleep. And when she kind of closed her eyes, we would try to put her down sleepy, because if you read everywhere on the internet, they're like, try to do that so the babies can learn to self-soothe and whatnot. So for the first like couple months, we were doing that and she was great until she learned how to roll and couldn't roll back and would wake up every hour. And that was driving us insane, because I felt like we just got her to sleep like 4 hours and we're like, yeah, we're doing it. And then it just regresses when they go through like a leap or a milestone. So that was real hard. And so I just thought, you know what, Lila will sleep with me. And because I was breastfeeding, it was a lot easier for me, because instead of me getting up twice a night to pump, store my milk, and then like, you know, put the parts away, sterilize, I would just boob her. And like she would wake up, roll over, find the boob, I'll boob her, and we'll both go back to sleep. I didn't have to pump. So that made things a lot easier, though it did disrupt my sleep more. So instead of getting up twice, maybe she'll like wake up 3 to 4 times, but it's really quick, if you know what I mean. It's not like getting up, getting on the parts. Like I'm not fully awake. I just boob her and then quickly doze off back to sleep. So in a way, I feel like it's better for me and like, I guess, my sanity, and it also works for Lila. But a con is that we no longer sleep next to each other. Is that a con for you? Because Alfred gets full nights rest.
It has pros and cons. I think if it wasn't for Biscuit, who used to sleep on our bed, I would be sleeping in the bed as well. It's just chaos with 2 parents, a baby, and a dog.
Yeah.
And Biscuit's like, she's pretty gentle, but she doesn't know better. So sometimes she likes to sort of
Move around the bed.
roam around the bed, and you know, you just don't want her to step on the baby. Yeah, and if I was on the bed and Biscuit wasn't on it, she'd be whining. So it's just how it is.
After experiencing childbirth and parenthood, would you consider having a second child? Actually, a lot of people want to know, when's baby number 2 coming? Are you gonna have another baby?
I think the first few months we were like, no, we're just so traumatized, like there is no way we're gonna have another kid. But I think you feel the same way too. She's getting super cute, so it's like she's kind of conning you. She's kind of making you forget about all the pain that you had, all the struggles. And yeah, I'm starting to come around to it, but not yet.
Not yet, definitely not yet. I feel like I just started to feel like myself, minus my amazing nature's mullet. I just can't picture myself being pregnant and giving birth and doing that whilst having Lila and raising her. Maybe in like a few years, we'll see. I don't know. I feel like maybe as Lila starts to grow up, you start feeling like, oh, maybe I could do number 2. It definitely hasn't scared us off completely. I think because we already know what to expect. If anything, we were more traumatized like when Lila came, because we didn't know what to expect. And I think that's a lot similar to like other parents as well. People don't know what to expect.
You can't be prepared for it. Like you read all about it.
Yeah.
It's just still gonna be like a massive shock to the system.
When we did have the chance to sit down and like talk, we would like, what did we do? Did we make a mistake? Our life was so good before. Like we had the freedom to go out to eat whatever we want. We had the flexibility. We didn't have this crippling anxiety. We had sleep. We looked at each other like, did we make a mistake? We're like, what the heck? How come we didn't know about this? So we were very, very surprised and shocked. And as time went on, things progressed, we learned, we dealt with it, and it's a lot better now. But I feel like it's just like you're just thrown into the deep end for the first like few months. So baby number 2 will happen one day, just
Not yet, right? Yeah, not yet.
It's not in our plans right now. So this one's for Alfred. How has fatherhood been for you?
I mean, I love it, for sure. Like, Lila's super cute and she makes me so happy. So I don't regret it, but it's just a lot of work, a lot of commitment. Like, I'm so lucky that I have, you know, help. You help a lot. Your mum obviously helps a lot as well. So yeah, but it's tough, but it's worth it, I think. If I balance it, I think it's overall net positive.
Net positive.
Yeah, because she's just so cute. Yeah.
Such an accountant term, net positive. I think we were also talking before, and you mentioned like, oh, you wish you had kids earlier, just knowing how much work it was.
Yeah, it's like a double-edged sword. Like, if you have the kid earlier, then you lose your youth. But then if you have the kid much later, it's gonna be hard to sort of keep up with the kid. Maybe in like early 30s would be a good time to have a kid.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I don't regret it. It's a fulfilling experience so far.
Another question for you. What is your career now and how do you manage your time?
Mine?
Yeah, that's
my
for
career.
You. Yeah. I don't think Alfred has like one job title.
Yeah.
I guess because we work together.
I just help. I'm the help.
You're the help.
Yeah, I mean, I help with the business sometimes. Obviously, work on Petit Club. I work on the main channel, like talking to brands, dealing with the finances, talking to the accountants, handling investments, and then chaperone, babysitter, cleaner, diaper changer,
Dog walker.
dog walker, morning nanny.
Yeah, Alfred wears a lot of hats. What's really good about working together is he's actually really hands-on, especially compared to other like husbands that I know, because everyone's different, but like Alfred does carve a lot more time out for Lila. So it's really good. I guess how do you manage your time?
I don't really. I kind of just like plug the holes as soon as they pop up. Yeah, I don't manage it very well, to be honest, but I'm still learning.
Okay, so there's some questions for me. How has your breastfeeding journey been so far? It is like a roller coaster. In the beginning, it's like the worst thing ever because you're like everything's so sensitive. You're trying to learn how to feed your baby. Your baby's trying to learn how to latch properly. It's painful. It's uncomfortable. The feeling of being engorged, not very fun. And then I also experienced mastitis, which is an infection. It's like a lump. It starts off like as a lump, and then the milk kind of like gets trapped in the milk duct, creates this lump. It's painful, and then you start getting like a fever, body chills, and you need to get the doctors to get antibiotics. And on top of all this, you still need to feed baby. So I feel like having mastitis, it was so much more painful than giving birth. Do you remember? Like when
I remember you cried.
I cried.
Like you were so upset.
I was
and sad.
So fragile. I'm usually such a strong, like mentally strong person, but when I was hit with mastitis, I just wanted to curl up into a ball and just not wake up. I went to the doctors and she's like, oh, like it's my usual doctor. And she's like, oh, how's like motherhood? And I just like burst out into tears. I was a mess, and I'm like, I have mastitis. It's so painful. Motherhood is so hard. And yeah, she was worried. She's like, here's a pamphlet on postpartum depression. And then I'm thinking, am I depressed? I'm like, I've got this lump in my boob, and it was just a horrible time. After that, I feel like the rainbows and sunshine did come out, and breastfeeding wasn't as hard. Like, my nipples toughened up, the skin wasn't as sensitive, so you know, baby can suckle away. She learned how to feed and latch properly. It was more like it's just a time management thing. Every like couple hours needed a pump or feed. So once I got used to that, it was okay. Like, I love it now. I feel like it's such a nice time to bond with baby. Yeah, like I'm kind of sad to think that one day this will end. I'm like, it's just like it's a roller coaster, but right now I'm in the good phase. Another question for me. Has Lila met your dad? I feel like she's only met her grandma from your side. She's met my dad through FaceTime or video call. She hasn't met him in person. I guess like people really don't know much about my dad, right? Like my dad and I, we talk. We have a good relationship, but he has another partner, and so he isn't as close with like the rest of my family, but we do keep in touch, and I like call him every couple of weeks. And when I go back to Australia, I do see him. So he'll be meeting Lila next year when we go back in April. But yeah, I'll just send photos and videos, and that's how we stay connected. Does your breast and nipples go back to their normal size after having a baby? I don't even remember what.
We'll let you know.
It doesn't. I'm telling you now. I'm sorry. It will never be the same. Like, it's just gonna be like a lot droopier. My nipple size, I went from like that to like big.
It's not that big, maybe it's like that.
It's big. It takes up my whole boob. Like, I'm not even gonna like sugarcoat that. Nipples come in different colors and size and shapes, and so I mean, it's normal. Do I love how they look? No. Do I hate it? No. No, I'm very neutral about my boobs, and at least Lila loves them, so that's all that matters.
She definitely loves them.
She loves them. What have you done to help with postpartum hair loss? I've literally tried everything I could under the sun. You've named it, I've probably tried it. So yeah. I did like scalp treatments to help bring back nutrients, clean out my follicles, stimulate hair growth. I took more vitamins as well. So I turned to Chinese medicine and I took these hair loss tonic pills, which is a mixture of, I don't even know what is in it, but it was very expensive. It was
like $300.
Yes, I splurged on that. Made sure my vitamin levels were up. So I took iron, vitamin D, made sure I had enough protein in my diet. I also use like special hair loss shampoo and a hair loss tonic, which I apply on my scalp after I wash it. There's a lot of those and they kind of like feel like very minty fresh, helps to bring the blood circulation up to your scalp to help grow the hair. So I literally did that. Oh, I also used your red light therapy helmet, 20 minutes a day. I literally tried everything I could. So if you're going through that, I can't just recommend one thing that I knew worked for me.
So it's like hard to tell which one of those worked.
Yeah, and obviously it takes a lot of time as well. So I can't pinpoint one thing that worked. I feel like it's just a mixture of things that works for me. I'm still losing some hair, but it's not coming out in clumps and like clogging the drain or anything like before. Now I can actually have my hair down and not have it just fall out everywhere in the house.
It used to be really bad. Like,
it used to be really bad.
Everywhere.
Like I'd find hair on Lila, like on the floor, on the bed, everywhere. It was very sad and scary. Does hemorrhoids go away after childbirth? I love that you guys you're straight up, you're just straight to the point, not scared of submitting these questions. And I mean, I asked for them, like, just hit me with your TMI questions, because I'm an open book. I want to share these things, normalize it, so then other people that go through this, they don't feel alone and it's not like a huge surprise. When you're pregnant or like after giving birth, you can experience hemorrhoids, which is swelling of a blood vessel in your rectum. So my Chris hemorrhoid is still there. I don't think he's going away, but he's not Thor anymore. He's not as strong and bulky and staunch anymore. He's like this little puny guy that just hangs out. Who just hangs out. And yeah, like now when I do number 2, I'm not scared to death. I'm like okay about it. It's fine. I think if you wanted to remove it, it would take surgery, or sometimes it kind of tucks back in by itself. Chris hemorrhoid likes to hang out in and out sometimes. It really varies on the day, but I'm 100% sure he's still there.
But like, can you feel that he's there?
Some days when I do touch and feel.
No, without you touching him.
No, like, yeah, definitely. If I didn't actually try to feel for him, I wouldn't know he's there. Yeah. There you go.
You asked for it, guys. You asked for this.
You asked. Can you share more about Lila's daily routine?
Wake up, eat, sleep, poop, bath.
Sleep. No, but she has naps. Okay, so basically we kind of go off wake windows. Wake up time can be anywhere from 7:30 to 9, 10 a.m. depending on what time she slept the night before. And then she's awake for about 2.5 to 3 hours before she gets sleepy and goes down for a nap. So she still has like 3, sometimes 4 naps a day. Now that she's eating solids, there's more things to do, whereas before it was just feed. So like she'll wake up, she'll have breakfast, have something to eat, and then later on she'll play a little bit and then have a milk and then go down for a nap, and then that kind of repeats itself. And then in the evening, Alfred will bathe her around 7, 8, 9, depending if we're home or not. Sometimes we like to go out to dinner, we bring her out now, and then she'll sleep at anywhere from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. We don't have like
we're not very structured.
Yeah, we don't have like a strict schedule. It's more like a guide, but if we're out and she's okay when we don't rush home to get her to sleep. I feel like in the beginning we were like that. We were trying to keep to a strict schedule and
It was stressful.
have our life revolve around
Yeah.
her. Whereas now that she's a little bit older, we're more comfortable with taking her out. Like we go out to dinners, to friends' houses. We don't have to leave like super early. We're just okay about it, right? We're just very relaxed, chill.
I think that worked way better for us because when we were trying to stick to the schedule, it was like really stressful when it wasn't going to plan. So now we just like follow her cues, and that just works so much better for us. We're not afraid to go out, like you said. We're not afraid of when she should be napping. It's like if she's tired, then we'll deal with it.
Definitely a lot better for our mental health.
Yeah.
Has Lila said her first word? Has she?
Yes.
Yes, and what did she say?
Mama.
She said mama. But she kind of calls both of us mama, so it's not just me. She calls like Alfred mama too. She'll like cry out for Alfred. She'll be like mama.
Yeah. She's actually got the cutest mama cry.
Before she used to cry and just go like but now she goes mama.
Yeah.
And then, oh my God, your heart like breaks, but you're also very happy that she's like, she's calling out for me. Yeah. But then she calls both of us mama. So we'll get to dada soon, but that's her first word. How is it raising a baby in Singapore versus Australia?
Hard for me to answer because I haven't raised a kid in Australia, but from what I can gather, there's a lot more help in Singapore that's like not family. It's a lot easier to get helpers in Singapore. My feeling is that it's a bit easier in Singapore in terms of help, like in terms of assistance, resources, that kind of stuff. I feel like in Australia, I talk to my friends, it's like everyone's just drowning.
Yeah, I think it's a lot tougher in Australia because like getting a nanny or even like childcare is pretty expensive, but in Singapore you have the option, or a lot of people actually utilize this option, is to get a helper, a live-in helper. So that person lives with you, they help out with chores, housework, can take care of your baby, or like even take them to school and whatnot. So a lot of parents, a lot of working parents do go with this option in Singapore. So I do feel like help is more affordable and is available, whereas in Australia a lot of parents just kind of manage on their own or have other family members or
childcare.
Grandparents help. I feel like in a way it is a lot easier to raise a kid in Singapore, but I don't know when it comes to schooling and stuff what will be better, where it's still up in the air if we want to go back to Australia for that or not. But yeah, that's our feeling so far. Final question, and this one is a burning question. People want to know, who is Zen? Is she your sister?
I kind of want to keep it a secret because it's just so funny.
In a way she is our sister.
Yes, but biologically, no.
No. So Zen used to work for my brand, Mark and Scribe, but that sort of finished up, and she's now working for me, like with my channel, helping me with filming, editing. So that's why she's always around, and she's literally like our younger sister. She's family to us. She's one of my closest friends. She pretty much knows everything about us. When we're on camera with her, we're so comfortable and we give off that vibe that we are family and related. But people think that Zen and Alfred look similar. Like they look like
That's the only
siblings.
reason why there's confusion, right?
And your
we
surname
look
is
alike.
Tran and Tan, but I mean that's completely different.
They're
But
different. Yeah, they're similar, but they're very different.
yeah, there you go, guys. The cat is out of the bag.
I wanted to keep it a secret a bit longer.
Yeah, because Alfred really enjoyed like looking at the comments, and people were like, "Oh no, yeah, they're siblings. Yeah,
With such
they're related."
conviction as well. It's like definitely
Yeah.
brothers and sisters. Yep, I know.
But we've cleared the air now.
So sorry to burst that bubble.
Anyways, that's all the questions that we're answering for today. I hope you guys have found it insightful and get a glimpse in our life as parents. It's definitely changed a lot, and it's good to have Alfred here because he has like the perspective of fatherhood.
But like just my perspective, like everyone's perspective is
it's different.
very different.
It's different. Like
Like,
your motto, you've been
Our
saying.
way is not the right way by any means. It's just what works for us,
Yeah.
and it's different.
It's different.
Yes.
From just being pregnant and giving birth, now entering like parenthood, being there for like a couple months. Wait, not a couple months, well, 7, 8 almost 8 months. It's really nice to be able to share that with you guys and be open and honest, because I feel like it will help other people out there as well. And if you guys are new parents or, you know, expecting, hang in there, it'll be okay. We're kind of just going with the flow, you know. At the end of the day, I don't think anyone really knows what they're doing. So, you know, glad to have you guys on the journey with us. Before we leave, we want to wish you guys a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you and your family and friends. Hope you enjoy the break. Hopefully you're having a break. But yeah, stay tuned for more content next year. That's it from us. We shall speak to you guys soon. Bye.